That's a solid group right there. And then you've got the cornerbacks. That room looks really good, to be honest with you. But if you look at what Jed Fish did with Arizona, do you think that this, if you're going to buy into team composite scores, do you believe that this team composite score is that far off from what Jed Fish took to 9-3 with Arizona last year?
It's been a long day just in general. Like hearing that the older Hatchet brother ain't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's the way he made it sound. Seeing Asa's gone to Florida. We did get Davis to come back, so that's definitely a positive. Our quarterback room today looks way better than it did, say, 5 days ago.
Yeah.
Seeing the actual mock depth chart that you gave us, Noah, definitely made me feel like there's less holes than just watching all these guys kind of slide out the portal. It made me feel initially, so I am feeling a little bit better on that.
Yeah, one thing people are talking about. Oh, we lost Hatchet, we lost Kalepo, Garen Hatchet, we lost Bulow. And I mean, there's no question losing all 5 of the Joe Moore award-winning linemen is an absolute gut punch. But what a rare opportunity it is for some of these young guys some of the names we've been hearing, Henning and is it Tafai, and getting Drew as a party. It's like, hey man, if there's a better time, there ain't a better time than right now to show this new staff that you're the big guy on the block.
This could be a cope. I'm sure Duck fans who are watching this or whatever, they're gonna be like, that's a cope, da 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 da. Maybe it is. But to me, we hit the reset button on this, and it's not like who we're adding in or who we're keeping is like ho-hum. But this is my perspective. Hitting the rebuild and the enjoyment of watching your team outperform expectations and build up, and watching a coach build his roster, and in this portal era, bring in some players that are key position players like Will Rogers and Jonah Coleman and Prysock and whoever else that's coming in. It's a different type of rebuild that can happen, and it can happen quicker. And to me, I almost enjoy this part of the process and the recruiting and the open positions and the playing time that you can sell more than 8-4, 9-3 purgatory, which is what I felt like was potentially how it was going to look this heading into this year. Like, to me, the ceiling was 10-2, a CFP entry, potential, Big Ten championship game, win or lose, whatever happens, that you sneak your way into the, complete ceiling, sneak your way into the CFP and the 12-team playoff. And I mean, I think I can speak for most Husky fans here in saying that I don't know if next year we were winning a national championship. Now, I could be wrong, and of course, we're all disheartened by Kalen DeBoer leaving and everything like that. But had he... So that aside, the fact that the build-up and the rebuild can be arguably more fun and more enjoyable as a fan than purgatory, that aside, had the Bama job not opened and Kalen DeBoer not taken it, as soon as this Michigan job opened, he would have taken it. Yep. That was the job that we had been hearing was the one to actually be worried about. So I know that this is like really glass half full, right, perspective on things, and I might be alone and not, I'm not saying I enjoy watching players who we've fallen in love with leave our program, but to me, there's something to be said about the enjoyment as a fan base of watching a new exciting head coach who has tons of connections, sit down courtside with Steve Ballmer, talk openly about trying to get donors like Bill Gates and Ballmer involved who have season tickets, things like that. It could be very exciting. And to me right now, it's hard to get excited because as soon as we get good news, it's peppered with timeline news of players who honestly, at least I can speak for the three of us and probably Stein and others as well, that we knew were probably not coming back this year. Like once KDB left. I know some people were kind of hopeful, but I didn't really feel super hopeful that Juice Buelow and Nate Kalepo were going to take visits to Ole Miss and then come back. Like as soon as the visits got announced, to me, it's like, all right, they're going to get offered massive amount of money from Lane Kiffin, and they're going to play in the SEC next year. They have 1 year, like Mike Varell had tweeted out. It's not that crazy that these players are leaving if they are considering that they can go to Ole Miss, for instance, and win immediately. Now that doesn't necessarily speak for Asa Turner, who committed to Florida tonight, or Mish Powell, who committed to Florida, but Miami, thank you. There is a optimistic side to what is happening right now. And to me, can be more fun than watching your team go 9-3 next year, 10-2 next year, which is, and then flop. And Kalen DeBoer is on the coaching carousel rumors again. And like, let's hit it right now. Lock down the guys like DeMarcus Davis, Hockey, and let's see what happens here.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's my purple colored glasses little.
Yeah, I think we're definitely coping. I mean, we literally just lost 20 some odd players, more than that. So I don't care who we lost out our head coach, and we literally did it like the week after we lost the national championship game. That's a whole bunch of bad luck, all literally falling into place within a couple week period. So yes, we are definitely gonna have to cope with that shit and figure out a way to feel better. And I think that part of that is, I mean, I think we were probably a 10-win team with KDB. Especially, like I said, you never know who he's going to bring in the portal, but also during spring practice. And I think the system was humming and running really, really well. Do I think we were going to win a national championship? I felt like we'd probably take a step back from last year, but who knows? Like, I have a lot of faith in what the staff did. So I'm not completely against the idea that they would have done well. But
sure, I'm with you
after everything that happened, though, we are doing a reset. And part of what we're doing is, hey, this is the team we love, so we're gonna find the silver lining in the cloud. And part of it is seeing this new coaching staff. They have strengths where KDB and his staff had some weaknesses. And so we're going to really latch on to those. And then hopefully, like you're saying, the things that bothered us about KDB, specifically the recruiting, and then how we all felt about how the NIL was starting to work out, where we felt like it just might not have been enough to get those big players. We have a guy that is, him and the new AD are very, very focused on that part of the game, which gives us hope because we know that's how you build a roster coming up. And so that reset doesn't seem like it did under Jimmy Lake or like it did when Sark took over or something like that, And so I get what you're saying.
So the one thing I will say about being excited about what we're going to be doing in the portal, just so that it's not lost on the crowd, we were basically done in the portal, basically. And when I say that, there might have been a couple more additions, like 5, 6, I would say, in that range, but they weren't going to be like splash, like take you from 9-3, 10-2 to now you're an 11-1, potentially 12-0 type of team. So, but I know your overall point is that you're agreeing, and I'm with you. It is 100% a cope. But just so that it's not lost, like the odds of you going 12-0 next year and having a similar run, no matter how we swing it, no matter what we talk about with NIL and all that type of stuff, it looked really unlikely. Now, 2 years from now, that could be different, but we weren't ever going to be keeping KDB for 2 years. So in my mind, that thought process is just because, we could have signed him for a 5-6 year deal. I don't see him sign. I mean, Noah, maybe you disagree with me. Could you have seen him sign a 10-year deal at UW, getting paid $9.5 million a year, to where he would turn down a Michigan job if it was offered now with this opening?
If he would have beat Michigan,
maybe.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. I feel like this is like a conversation that I don't know if I said this last week or, when we were on. I kind of feel duped, man. I mean, I think I've had to change my mindset when it comes to like really, really like thinking about a man and a coach and kind of what he preaches and what he does like in this business, like um so to answer your question, you asked me that on the 8th of January, could we sign Kalen DeBoer to a 5-year deal, giving him $9.5–10 million a year? I would have said, yeah, that's what we're doing, Uh, but now, no, dude, we could have offered him 13 million and he's leaving.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that because I don't, and everyone would say like, oh, he's this, he's that. Kalen DeBoer wants to win. He wants to find a place that he can win often, and win for a decade.
And he could have
Real.
done that
I
here.
mean,
Let's be
yeah,
real.
no, I agree. I agree, Izzo. But the thing is obviously in his mind, it's easier at Florida. And let me ask this question: if you're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma right now, and you polled 1,000 people, how many of them are saying that it's easier to win a national championship at Alabama or Washington?
Oh, yeah, we know the answer there.
Right?
We
I mean,
also
you know
know
what
they're
I'm
not
saying?
familiar enough with what was being built.
But here's the question though: did Kalen DeBoer ever truly like? Man, I don't know, dude. I think he was always. If he had the opportunity to go to Michigan, he had the opportunity to go to Alabama. I think he was leaving anyways,
Yeah.
even if we won.
Make it through both of those cycles of a Bama hire and a Michigan hire from a guy, like him. I mean, I'm with you on that.
Mhm.
Like, I just don't
Yeah.
think, I don't even think it's worth us putting ourselves through the mental anguish of thinking of what could be when we know that next year was going to be 10-2, and we know that there was no real chance that KDB was going to be retained through both the Bama and Michigan head coaching hires.
Listen, man. Here's the deal. We have. I'm gonna jump right into this because it's like I'm done with Kalen DeBoer. I can't talk
Yeah,
about
we
him
can.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
mean, there's a reason. There's a reason why I brought my whiskey tonight. There's a reason why I probably look like I've put on 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks because it's like the depression is real. But at the end of the day, man, uh, is Jed Fish here for 2 years? Is he here for 3 years? Is he here for half a decade? I don't really know, but I know that everywhere he's been, he seems to do a pretty good job on being able to look at a roster and find out how to build and how to build and how to build. Um,
Here's
there's
another.
already
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I would just say there's already pieces that that we had in the portal. Um, I don't know if we want to get into our weekend visitors, but I will just say that, dude,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
there's some good talent coming in this weekend, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, Rashad Amos, the
Yeah.
running back out of
Yeah,
Miami,
we're gonna watch
Ohio.
his tape here in a second.
I'm telling you right now, he is a game changer, bro. You talk about like Earth, Wind, and Fire with freaking Jonah Coleman, Rashad Amos, and Cam Davis, and then you throw in like Will Nixon. I mean, dude, our running back room could be like, dude, top 3, 4 in the Big Ten. Now everybody's gonna say, well, what about your offensive line? I agree. You
Yep.
got to get some hog mollies up front. But at the end of the day, man, you get Jeremiah Hunter. He'll be on campus this weekend. It's like, dude, with Will Rogers, dude,
So will
he can
BJ
throw it
Green.
around. Yeah, what's that?
Sorry, I was just gonna point out. Somebody asked about BJ Green. Said they assumed he was gone. He'll be on campus this weekend as well.
Yeah, BJ Green will also be on campus this weekend. But I just think like you get some hog mollies up front, man. Get some of these young guys to step up, dude. I don't know if we're gonna be 10-2, in a bowl game, but you know what? We'll be right in the mix of 8-4, just like we said 2 weeks ago. And I'm serious about that. And I promise you, that's what Fish and Brennan Carroll and those guys are preaching.
Yeah, if
We
you think
need
that
to.
they're just gonna leave this offensive line as is with how many
Yeah,
scholarship offensive
get it out
linemen?
here.
No way.
Yeah, so it's not like, and it's not lost on me. Mike made this point last time. It's like you do need a camp, at least to have like a super duper effective offensive line that you plug and play guys into. You want them to get PT together. With that said, we don't play somebody that we would think to worry about for a loss outside of some people argued last time, and I'm rolling my eyes that they said Wazoo's a trap game in the beginning of the year. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm not going to worry about Wazoo. So that you're the first 5 games you have to be able to mesh with each other is this. It's freaking. Where's our schedule?
Oh, dude. I mean, it's Weaver State,
Yeah,
and
Weaver
then
State.
you open Weber State, and then you go Eastern Michigan, I think. Yeah, Eastern
and
Michigan,
Wazoo. Then
Wazoo,
Northwestern,
Rutgers. I'm
That-
sorry, man. Like,
That's 5-0.
you
Wasn't
should be
Northwestern in a
5-0.
bowl game this year?
That's fine.
And Rutgers? Yeah.
I'm still not fretting Northwestern, with a serious mindset, with Will Rogers at quarterback, with Jonah Coleman and Cam Davis and potentially Amos coming in, with Jeremiah Hunter, Denzel Boston, whoever else on the wide
Dude,
receiver.
Keith Reynolds, Rashid Williams.
With this list of guys who we haven't seen who's going to come through in the portal yet. Also, we have the portal window coming, so I would assume I could see them adding another wide receiver at least. I'm not worried about a team like Northwestern, even if they were 6-6, 7-5 last year in the Big Ten with some cakewalks. Even with this offensive line, who we know we're probably going to add a couple guys onto, like I can't find myself being concerned with those first 5 games. Especially with Jed Fish as your offense, running the offense. Like, I just don't.
Vogelback in the Discord chat brings up a super good point. He just wrote Giles. Dude, you know who will be like, Roger's best friend is Giles Jackson, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a sick little filthy, release valve. Dude, we talked about this last year if he stays healthy. Dude, Giles Jackson, he'll have 50 catches this year.
Well, same thing with Moore and Cuevas too. Those are guys that they were just buried on the depth chart, but they have a lot of talent.
We need more to stay healthy.
Yeah, well, definitely. But you know what I'm thinking, and I'm like I said, it has me looking at this like, if you could get one super big time offensive lineman to come in, and then one, like we say, you get like Landon Hatchett back, and then maybe one like guy that's a borderline 4-star, maybe high 3-star guard transfer, all of a sudden your offense feels way, way better. And I'm looking at the playmakers and stuff. Like, there's some dudes. Like, it's not like it's it's not like
going to be like what it was last year. Of course, it's not.
But and we can only say that because we don't know what Boston is yet. We have no idea what he is yet. We don't have any idea what Rashid Williams is yet. But if one or two of those guys ends up proving to be a number 1 receiver, then you got all those running backs that can really run the ball. I mean, there's a lot of talent that is just undiscovered right now, or not even just unknown right now.
But if you buy in to, and then we can get in, because I know we've got about 30 minutes left here, and I want to get into looking at some of these guys who we have on campus this weekend. But if you look at what Jed Fish did with Arizona, do you think that if you're going to buy into team composite scores, do you believe that this team composite score is that far off from what Jed Fish took to 9-3 with Arizona last year? Or was it 9-3? What did they end up? 10-3?
And then, yeah, they won 10 games. They were a top 15 team.
So, point is, like, you have a redshirt senior quarterback with Jonah Coleman and Cam Davis, and then if you add the release valve of Amos too, that running back room is better. Quarterback, running back room is better. Wide receiver room, you don't have Tet, so that's going to be different. But point being is, like, for you to think, like, I saw somebody ask a question, 6 wins, can we even get to a bowl game? It's like, come on, bro. I'm not picking on the chatter who said that. I know you're just asking our opinions.
We should win the first 5 games, like we said.
This should be 5-0. So then
here's one thing. Hey, Izzo, go back to the depth chart, dog chart. Dude, one thing on this is people need to remember, before Gard Memolar got hurt last year, he was like projected to be one of the starting offensive guards. So where I'm going with that is Bulow. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm just gonna as Izzo knows, let's just call a spade here. Having the 2 bookends with Roger Rosengart and Troy, and then Parker in the middle. I'm sorry, man. Nate, Juice, love you. You guys are dogs, 5-year dogs, 4-year dogs, whatever it was. Dude, you guys had a lot of help, man. I mean, dude, you put Izzo and I out there, and we probably looked pretty damn good. And it's like, I'm just saying, don't dude. There's a reason that they ended up being like 88s and 89s in the transfer portal. So, kind of. I mean, dude, there's enough film on them. They're good players, but let's not sit here and act like we lost, Steve Hutchinson, and some other All-American.
You're saying they're replaceable. That's the big thing.
They are replaceable, man.
Yep, and that's kind of that, and I guess that's why when I was thinking about how bad I was feeling about the team, and then looking at the depth chart, and we're not as many holes away from being good as we think, and that's like the talent in the receiver room, because the kid Hunter, what do you have, 7 touchdowns for Cal last year? Cal was terrible.
Yeah.
Have you had 7 touchdowns at Cal?
We don't even need to look at stats to know that Jeremiah Hunter's an absolute threat, like he is.
Yeah, and then you add him with Boston. Now all of a sudden you're looking like, okay, those are 2 guys that can really play. And you have the biggest thing that I think was the game changer is we have a quarterback now that is experienced and we know can get them the ball. And some of these young guys get a chance to step up. I mean, you, like I said, you also have Giles Jackson that you add to that. Think about those are your top 3 receivers. We could be in a far worse place than having those 3 guys as our top receivers going into this season coming up. You plug 2 offensive linemen into this O-line, and you have a solid offensive line, especially if a few of these guys take a step forward. Which, I mean, is it too out of the realm to think that these guys are going to take a step forward in the offseason? No. So I mean, I'm not as worried about that. And then when I looked at the defense, we can keep a couple of the guys that are already on that depth chart right now.
The front 7 is. Does not look. So I think this is does Valdez have 4 years of eligibility left, Noah? Or is that a typo?
No, I think he only has 1. I think that's a typo.
Okay. So Valdez, your front 7. So we kind of have a good lay of the land of the offense. I think everybody in chat understands what the offense is going to look like. You've got, we're figuring it out on the offensive line, but you still have pieces like Memelar, Tafai, Henning was getting a lot of chatter. Clem is a solid prospect there. Azaparty's obviously being brought in to play a starting tackle position. Like we know we have some pieces there. So let's, and we could, if God forbid we get a Hatchet brother back, if Landon decides he wants to come back, that'd be massive as well. That's a huge piece.
That would be,
if you're listening, Landon, come on home, bro. Stay home.
We love you, man. We love you, bro.
I want to see you on this offensive line.
You'll be a starter for the next 3 years. Let's go.
Absolutely. But let's look at the defense. So defense, you're starting front 7. You're looking at Valdez at 1 spot, and you've got a rotation of Bandez, the Parker brothers, and you can certainly assume that Alinius Davis is going to be in that mix. He's an absolute stud. Anthony James has potential to have an impact there.
That's a big one that we got to watch.
Omar Khan is somebody that, honestly, if you look at him physically, he looks physically ready to go. I assume he might redshirt. We'll see how that happens. This rating is an absolute, it's laughable. He is so much better than an 85. If you were to benchmark him against the other 85 rated guys, he would blow out all of those dudes in the water. But anyways, I digress. He's not going to.
Is that just because he played against like bad competition in high school, right? It wasn't like it was.
He didn't play until his senior year, and he went when we offered him and he committed. He had like 3 or 4 D1 offers. He now has like 33. So just to give you some context there, and of course because he's committed to us, you don't get the Bama bump like we saw with Noah Carter.
96.
So stupid. Anyways,
hold on really quick. I'm going to call 247 out on this. He was a 93 on the 8th of January. He's a 96 today. It's not like he's touched the field in 13 days.
They're not hiding
17 days.
Dude,
it's a joke.
It's a joke. We've known it's been a joke. I've heard behind closed doors about some things that would make people's skin crawl. I can't verify, and I'm not saying it's 100% truth. Hashtag don't come after me. I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot of rumors about how things work, but yada yada. Anyways, I digress. We're decently deep, if you can describe the room on the interior. It's not horrific by any stretch. So moving on, edge. You've got this group of 4 right here. That rotation of 4 is solid.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's blowing everybody out of the water, but if you're led by BJ Green, that's solid. I'm not saying this is Trice ZTF, but I'm good with Durfee. I want to see more of him. Obviously, there's some guys that we need to see more on game film, but the potential between these two, plus Voy and BJ Green in rotation with Lance and Maurice Himes there, this is not like DEFCON 1, we need to Panicville. This is
but
okay.
and also is don't sleep on Isaiah Ward. I think he's a Husky too, man.
I saw that. You know what's crazy is
34 pressures, 4 sacks, and 29 hurries, and then Russell Davis also jumped in the portal as well. It's like, dude, there are some guys that that you would definitely consider to be kind of your like third down rush ends, get up and go, and like your NASCAR type package. Dude, those guys, dude, we could be fine if we could just get a couple other pieces to kind of like solidify those trenches.
And you just brought up the NASCAR package. Imagine moving Voy and Green inside and having guards try to block either of the two of them while you have, say, Durfee and Lane or even Himes or any of these other guys rushing from the outside. That NASCAR package could be nasty. It could be super nasty.
BJ Green's a menace, man. I'm telling you, he's a bad man.
So and also for the people who were asking like, hey, is this realistic with BJ Green? Noah pointed this out to me on the phone tonight. He's taken now 2 visits to Ole Miss. And he has not committed on either one of them, and he has a visit coming back here. And I can tell you right now, they want him. We want him bad. So we're not going to roll over on a fight without a fight. And we've, if you believe what you would think with NIL budgets and stuff like that, we don't have to talk specifics, but there's a lot of budget left. You just vacated tons of money with Mike and all of these guys leaving for the NFL and to the portal. So you should have some money to be competitive in the portal with. You would think that would have happened on the offensive line, but I'm not going to pretend to know the plan there.
Man, he was just meeting with Ballmer this week, so let's see what happens with that relationship.
And that goes to, I'll pause here for a second because I want to make a point about that. If Fish were to get those two to be heavily involved with the University of Washington football NIL programs, there is a argument to suggest, if you fast forward, if they did have heavy involvement 3-4 years from now, where you're like, there might be hindsight 2020 here that our NIL is unbelievable and we're getting the players whoever we really want type of thing, doing what Ole Miss is doing right now. That could be in the future or whatever. Anyways, I digress. The interior linebackers, I think we all know these two, right? Those are your 2 starters. We've heard nothing but this kid is ready to play right now out of Devin Bryant. Jordan Whitney is not far behind on those heels. And Drew Fowler is a stud rotational piece.
I just want to say this. Drew Fowler in the national championship, not in garbage time, I think it was like second quarter, dude, he was in the rotation. Like he was playing one of the 2 linebackers in the game.
So my point is that your front 7 is not like just like hit the reset button on everybody. You only got 5 scholarship guys, like full blown Panicville. It's solid. And if not, like you've got players with potential and key pieces like Alfonso and Carson Bruner returning into the middle, leading that defense. It's not like this is just complete total disarray. Okay, so then you go to safety, right? You just lost Asa. That's a massive loss. There's no downplaying what he did for communication on the back end, plays running through him. There was a noticeable difference when he was not in the game this season. But Cam Fab has been here for friggin' 30 years now. This is not somebody who is not viewed as like a leader, in terms of just his age and his pedigree as a player. Last year, he had some like highlight reel plays, big play in the Michigan game, big play in the Texas game. That's a starter right there, right? Maybe he starts at Husky where he's a safety. So you've got one piece locked up with a player that we view as solid. Now you have a battle between, let's say, Michaela Steen, Diesel Gordon, Tristan Dunn, Dyson McCutcheon. Kamori House is probably not going to play, he's not going to start right away or anything like that.
And they're giving him a shot in the secondary, right? No, he's not playing linebacker.
Sounds like he'll maybe get some looks in the secondary. So point is, is you've got one short up. You've got a portal entry opening. I wouldn't mind seeing a name added to this list, and maybe you guys can agree or disagree.
Rashawn Clark, baby. Rashawn Clark.
Rashawn Clark,
Yep,
we forgot
that's
him.
a good one.
He'll be
God,
on campus. He'll be on campus this weekend.
I freaking
Maybe
love
Curly
Rashawn.
Reed.
What's Rashawn rated?
He's at like a 90.
Yeah, he's a 4-star. He's like right on that cusp.
I think he's at 90.83 if I remember right. I can look.
He also plays receiver though too, right? He could play both ways.
He's gonna play. He's
Can't
gonna
play
play. He's an NFL type safety. I'm telling you, he's an absolute freak.
In the future, gosh, dude, his yeah, we already showed it last week.
Yeah, it was
That
ridiculous.
play was so sick. Okay, so you've got to shore up a safety spot. We know Cam Fab is one, and I would love nothing more than to hear that Tristan Dunn had made a step and is going to be a starting Husky. Like that's what it's one of the key things I'm going to be looking for from camp. I would assume the same from you guys, but man, would he be an absolute beast at Husky. So I'm hoping for that. And I don't even know if we run a Husky, but whatever position is similar. McEllisteen, I would assume, is probably the favorite for the other job. But go ahead, Noah.
Go back to linebacker real quick. I just wanted to point out, dude, we're gonna have this kid named Brynam Parham on campus this weekend. He was like the dude on the San Jose State defense. 106 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and a pick. Forced fumble. I mean, he's kind of their gadget guy all over the field making plays. He'll be on campus this weekend. I would love to kind of lock him up to see if we could, just kind of get that another veteran presence in that linebacker room.
Right. Okay.
That's real.
Yep.
Corners. This is a surefire starter. He was almost all Pac-12 last year. So you've got one side locked up with one of the best corners in the conference. Okay? Then you've got a battle with Elijah and Thaddeus on one side and Devon Banks. And I would assume that they're going to, and probably throw Leroy in there. I think Curly's a safety now. So we'll see. But
don't sleep on Jordan. Don't sleep on Jordan Shaw either, bro. I'm telling you, he's nice.
How am I even forgetting Jordan Shaw? I mean, this could be your starting 2 right here, but we'll see. There's going to be a battle, obviously, for one spot probably, and realistically, the third guy gets in rotation tons. We saw it last year, and honestly, so does the fourth guy. But point is, if your corners are Prysock, Shaw, Devon Banks, Elijah Jackson, Thaddeus Dixon, and then you've got a chance at Leroy Bryant, assuming Curly Reed is actually going to battle for a safety spot. That is freaking solid. And I would assume Elias Johnson is probably going to redshirt. And Presley's going to be, he's going to be battling too. If he takes another year or two to develop, then so be it. But you're solid.
Weren't we hearing like Leroy Bryant in fall camp, like first 5 days on campus, that he was like. Dude, he's like that alpha dog mentality. Yes. Yeah.
And I think he was like a lot of people's favorite recruit from that class. A lot of people's.
Yeah, because Reed and Presley had all the press, but it seemed like he was the one that got all the after the accolades were given out, he was the one that seemed to make the most noise during fall camp.
Jump.
Yeah. So I mean, and that. You know what? That's also assuming that none of these guys that we mentioned that are those 4-star kids from last year make a huge jump. And I don't know. They're usually not ranked that high for no reason. So
okay. So
the other thing?
Go ahead, Noah.
Go ahead. No, I just want to say this. The other thing, really quick, you have to remember, man. I'm not saying that there's going to be 12 guys from our freshman class last year that make a jump. Dude, there's going to be 4. There's going to be 5. Like, there's going to be guys that are ready to make that next jump that we're kind of like on the precipice of doing it this year as true freshmen. So it's like, I know it's hard for us to project like, oh, this guy's definitely going to hit, but it's going to happen. I mean, it's just numbers alone. It's going to happen.
So
exactly.
I think we can agree, right? That this isn't like hey, do we have to debate as to whether or not that we're a bowl eligible football team in the Big Ten next year, right? Like, can we put that to bed looking at that roster, knowing that it's really like a battle for a safety spot? some defensive line depth pieces maybe, and we got to see some guys, jump up and develop like we saw, and then offensive line pieces. But it's really like running back short up, quarterback short up. I feel good about wide receivers, not like it's last year, obviously, but you have some solid guys there with Jeremiah Hunter, Giles Jackson, Denzel Boston, whoever else you can add through the portal. And some of the other younger guys developing, Rashid Williams, those different types of guys, Justice Williams. You have, that I feel good about. The inside linebacker situation with Bruner and Tupatala, BJ Green, Jacob Lane,
Valdez.
Valdez on the interior defensive line, but Jacob Lane, BJ Green, Zach Durfee, Voy Tanufi. Like that's not horrific. That's a solid group right there. And then you've got the cornerbacks. Look, that room looks really good, to be honest with you. Shaw,
especially if Price Hawk ends up there, then all of a sudden you're like,
feel like that's done deal.
But I mean, even if you were to just take Banks, Jackson, and Dixon, the three of those guys are not bad and they're battle tested. They've played a lot of college football.
Yes. So basically, Cam Fab, McKellisteen, Tristan Dunn. Figure out that situation. Curly Reed, that situation, I feel like is going to end up being decent.
Oh, maybe all three of them guys play too. Maybe all three of those guys start as far
that's
as.
actually what I wanted to say about Elijah Jackson. The way he kind of played down the stretch, man, I have a hard time seeing him honestly getting unseated.
So 5-0. Let's assume 6-0, and we're going to do this for the last time right now because we've done this on every podcast for the last 3 podcasts. This is 5-1. Honestly, obviously at Iowa, on paper, you see that it's a tough place to play. They're going to have a really good defense. I don't know much about their offense. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But this is, you would assume 5-2, but I would argue it's not a foregone conclusion if you just look at the roster and assume that we're probably going to add another offensive lineman or two. I don't think that's like a surefire L, throw it on the board right now, but we will just for this exercise. 5-2.
For the sake of argument.
Yeah, 5-2. I don't want to hear it. This is 6-2. USC just their portal class is really damn good. So I'll go 6-3 here. At home, though, I don't think that's a 100% foregone conclusion either. With when you consider Will Rogers and the running backs that we have and the wide receivers that we have, I don't think it's foregone. But we'll call it.
Are you gonna buy? Are you gonna buy a ticket for $213?
Probably not. We're renewing our tickets, by the way. No,
good.
We're not going to fair weather out. So this is 6-3. We'll call it 6-4. I would assume that most people would agree Penn State's going to be pretty good. 6-4, if not very good. This one, at home, flip a coin.
If you're saying USC's a loss, I'm definitely taking UCLA as a win because I look at those. So I actually look at the Iowa-Indiana game, and I with the roster the way it is right now, I'll flip-flop those games. Same thing, like I'll take 1 win, 1 loss. I'm gonna do the same thing with USC, UCLA.
Okay.
I'll take 1 win, 1 loss.
Right
now you're sitting at 7-4.
Both of these games are at home too. So 7-4.
Yep.
We'll say we're giving the loss to USC. We're going to take the W. UCLA at Oregon. Oregon, I hate you, but they're stacked. Okay, so that we don't run out of time. What are can you pull up the list or shoot me the list in chat, Noah, of the visitors that we have coming this weekend so we can pull up some tape? In the meantime, I know one of them and I want to pull them up right now.
Rashad Amos, and I put it in the chat.
Amos was number 99 in all of college football last year, rated in terms of running backs.
Interesting.
So it's
some of the names
that's pretty
next
solid.
To him? I'm just trying to look at some of the names next to him. Like who are names that I even realize? Like John Edwards. There's DJ Williams from Arizona.
Dowdell. Jace McClellan.
South Carolina original.
6'2",
13 touchdown.
4.
I like the size, yeah.
Bro, especially in the Big Ten, man, like having Amos Coleman and Cam Davis, dude. I mean,
over the top.
Well, I mean, we saw what happened this year when DJ went down and Davis went down. That really hurt us in the Michigan game. So having 3 guys that can really do it is going to matter.
Kid's built.
Yeah.
By all means, we don't know that this kid's committing to UW, but it does mean something that they brought him back in, because they were tweeting, or like whoever his running backs coach or whoever's in his camp, I can't remember who it was like he was committed to UW, but then that ended with yada yada, because in the tweet that he sent out, it was like UW in parentheses, and somebody tweeted back, and I'm like, why do you have UW in parentheses? And he was like, we were about committed to UW.
Well, it says it right there. Look, Brad Lester. Yeah.
Let me see if it's in the comments. Yeah. Was transferred there until last coast left for Bama. And I think this is, it's like his offseason running backs coach. So point is, we're bringing the guy back in. So we've got him covered.
Do BJ Green.
Oh gosh, yeah, why not?
Yeah, his numbers. I mean, he looked like he's an absolute wrecking ball last year for Arizona State. And I mean,
dude, see what pops up on YouTube. Yeah, hit that right there. Dude, I'm telling you, he is. Bro.
Jesus, yeah.
Look at his body though. Like, okay, that was weird, Paul. But I just paused myself. But no, I mean, he is just, dude, he's a menace, bro.
Do we have another? Give me another clip.
I should give you another one. Down here on the bottom. Yeah, look at him. Give me some.
Oh yeah. They were eating up that Washington State offense. I want to see what he was doing against UW.
Yeah, he ate us up, bro.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the Joe Moore.
This is like the definition of motor. When they give somebody an attribute plus, like when we do it and we're like plus motor on a guy with the scouting report on a guy, when we tweet that out, this is definition.
You know what he kind of reminds me of is a less lanky Michael Bennett.
Oh, bro, okay. I was just talking to Lofa about that. That's exactly what I said to him. I said he's got that. He's moose bred, dude. He's that's exactly what he is, bro. That's hilarious. You said that because he can play edge. He can play 3 technique, 5 technique, and he can go stand up over top of the center too. I mean, he's that good of a player.
He just looks less lanky, which I think for playing on the D line is a plus.
He's clip package all day.
Bro, he's twitchy. Hit up we did Rashawn Clark, dude. Audric Harris, he's 2024 kid. A little slot.
This is why I love this platform, because we get to do this in terms of like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Oh, he got the zooms.
Yeah, he really does.
If he got long legs, kind of like he kind of got a little J Mac in him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look like he's somebody you could stick right there in the slot and play immediately. I mean, he's quick. He doesn't look like the biggest dude. How tall is he?
6'1".
Oh wow. Yeah, you're right. He's definitely on that. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
And ain't gonna catch him.
I wouldn't comp him to J Mac personally, but he's solid. He also looks.
No. I mean, just because I'm saying J Mac, I'm not saying that makes him seem like he's as good. I'm saying like just same body type to me.
Look at this.
J Mac right there.
Poor soul.
Dude, you got that little hezzy at the top. We'll see.
Yep. Got him flat-footed. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is high school tape. Like, I'm not going to read too much into that. He looks solid though.
Is that you ready for this?
Yeah.
He's technically our highest rated 2024 wide receiver.
Okay, I love this right here. I might take back my tempered expectations.
Yep. Yeah, that was I
mean, this guy.
It was a violent cut. Like the cut was like, they were talking about why J Mac couldn't play when he was hurt because of how violent his cuts were. That was that kind of a violent cut.
Good Lord. I mean, hold on.
Oh yeah, he left that guy.
Best of luck.
I want to see him do. I feel you though. I want to see him do that against college DBs. But
yeah, of course.
Raheem Wright.
Yeah.
Dude, my kind of guy.
Dude,
another one.
He loves to punch it out, huh?
Yeah, got that little DK Metcalf in it.
Little peanut Tillman.
Peanut Tillman.
Bink.
Boom.
Ooh, there we
like
go.
that.
He looks small though. How big is he?
Here we go.
No, he's not that small. He's tall. I think he's 5'11", 6 foot. I'll get him.
All right, let's see it. Okay.
That's a touchdown though.
You like
but
that
it's still nice.
pursuit.
Okay.
I love that.
Yep. That's like some Mish Powell type stuff.
You love the Mish Powell comp.
He does look a little short, Mikey.
Yeah. What did it say though his height was on the 247?
I'm about to look it up right now. Raheem.
Sorry, I robbed everybody of a clip there. Here we go.
I do like though, like that
Yeah,
that whole.
it says he's 6 foot.
There we go. I like that. Like I said, that stuff like the attacking the screen game and fighting through blocks to get to those plays out in the flat is very Mish Powell.
I like how he reacts. I like where he's keeping his eyes.
Well, you know what I kind of like to. Oh, there we go.
I like that. Too.
Just put a foot in the ground and go after him. Yeah. And it looks like he's got a little bit more speed than Mish does. There we go.
I'm fully sold on this kid. What's he rated?
He's a 3-star. He's an 88 at a Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, ton.
Rancho, Northeast LA.
They're putting out so many players. Rancho Cucamonga.
I just got a request from my man Marky Mills.
Okay, he's like pull him up.
So he's 6'5", 295. This Bryce Butler is.
Yeah.
He's a JUCO guy.
Yeah, Garden City. Oh, he's mean.
How many years of eligibility on this kid?
I think at least 3.
Okay. Okay. Suplexing guys automatically, please. Plays on the edge right here. Double team. Nope. I don't care.
I definitely would like that. Like the size
hop
there.
the O-line. All right, I want this kid.
Yeah.
His was like,
Who's
that's
it?
what I would've done.
Marky Mills, I'm with you, bro. Lower half, I mean, obviously he's huge. He's moving real well for that size, but his lower half's moving a little slower than his upper half. Let's see here. I mean, I guess I can't fault the kid for being. What does he weigh? 290.
I will
95
say
is
this.
the.
Okay,
I'll say this. I'll say this on this kid. His first step's not terrible. It's actually pretty good. He's pretty raw.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay though.
He's just mauling. Not
No,
very
dude,
strong
this is
guys. But
actually,
still, I mean, like that's yeah.
He's
Just
busted up a
to
double
give you
team.
guys some context here, this is actually the best like JUCO leagues in the country. This is like Independence. This is Last Chance U type stuff right here. This is that's the leagues they're playing in.
Yeah. Like I said, I like his size. I like
I
what
like
he's doing with
that.
his tackles.
Bro, I
He's
really like that.
manhandling these guys. Yeah.
All jokes aside, yeah, you can't discredit this rep.
Well, and imagine getting him in a D1 weight room with it on, D1 food, D1, paying attention to who you are.
Run that back. That rep right here.
Yeah, I love this.
Watch him get underneath that guy. That's a nice rep, dude.
There's nothing wrong with this rep.
Imagine if he just got him up here on the corner and then just did one quick like shuck and shed with a rip move, dude. That's a sack, bro. Boom.
Well, that's what it's
anyway.
it looks like. Developing what he can do with his hands might help him out a lot because he looks like he likes the bull rush. There's a swim move right there. Yeah, there's a swim move right there.
I'm telling you, he's raw, but he's got some decent tools.
He's playing on the edge right there too.
Yeah, 295 playing on the edge. It's pretty wild.
This kid is. I mean, obviously he's not like a super awesome offensive tackle. This is not a small tackle here.
No, and he just ripped and got around him and.
I mean, that tackle is all a 6'4", 6'5". Look at the tackle he's going up right there. That guy's huge.
Oh, well, no.
He didn't even block him. Thanks, pal.
All right, one more clip on him.
Oh, there's Hutch, baby. That's a great school. I think out of Oklahoma or Nebraska, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I want this kid for sure.
I mean, just from body alone. I mean, it's a nice body. He's long, what do you say, 6'5", 295 with that first step.
Yeah.
All right, final thoughts from you
Verbatim.
guys. Noah, shoot.
Hey man, dude, like I said, just keep the faith for real.
Mike, what do you got? I'm gonna keep it short too.
You know what? After looking at the roster and seeing who we're bringing in, like I said, I feel a lot better right now than I did before this. A lot of that stuff I saw earlier in the week kind of made me feel like, oh, snap, what are we going to do? But I think we're a lot closer than we think. And I want to give this relentless recruiting staff their chance. We literally have 2 windows open before fall practice starts. So, all right. Hey, Jed Fish, man, go fishing, man. Let's bring in some good ones.
I think that's perfect. That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. Like, you have windows here. Go fill the spots that you need to, but honestly, you're not operating with the deck that you thought that you had before. But if you look at this roster, you're not going to just be like, "Oh, we are so screwed. There's no way we're adding offensive linemen. This is the offensive lineman we're going to be operating with. This is a solid base, a decent group right here, and then you just add in to fill in the spots here, like that you need to fill in on the offensive line. Maybe that's 2-3 guys." And then you've got the skill positions wrapped up, and your front 7 is decent. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not saying this is a team that's going to, like, we're going to go 12-0, we're going to go 11-1, but honestly, my expectation is 7-5. And is 8-4 crazy to me? No. Is 9-3 crazy? It's not crazy, but dude, the Pac-12 was deep last year, and if you're just going to go tit for tat, this offense and what you can add, or this team and what you can add, through these next portal groups, it's equal or better than what Arizona had last year, and they took that team to 10 wins. So,
Real.
I'm just saying, man. And with the same running back,
That's
better
real.
running back group
Dude,
too. So,
dude, I'm serious about this. Cam Davis, Amos, and Jonah Coleman could be special. Like I'm like that's
yeah, like top
Those are really
in
good
the
running
Big
back.
Ten easily. Like,
Just
or not
sign a-
easily, but pretty. I mean, locked.
You
in
sign a
at
couple
top.
O linemen, we're good, man. You sign a couple O linemen, we're good, and we'll be able to open some holes up for them.
Amen. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Much love. Noah, enjoy your whiskeys.
Yep.
Mike, love you, buddy. I will. I'll be calling you guys shortly here. As always,
Sounds good,
go
boys.
Dogs. Much
Go
love,
Dogs.
guys.